In this video, we're going to be automating the TTM Squeeze indicator. In the first part, we're going to be building a simple bot using NinjaTrader Strategy Builder, and we'll run step by step on how to do that. In the second part of this video, we're going to show you how easy it is to automate this indicator and configure any settings that you want using the Predator X order entry. That way you do not need to code anything. But with that, let's first go over how exactly this indicator works. The TTM Squeeze is a famous indicator created by John Carter, and there's been many different variations over the years, but we're going to try and keep it as simple as possible for this video. And how this indicator works is you're basically just trying to find a period of consolidation, and we get an entry signal when we break out of that period. How we find these periods is by utilizing the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channel. So let's just load them on the chart so we get a little bit of a visual of how this indicator works. So first up is the Bollinger Bands. I'm going to do a deviation of 2 and a period of 21. Next, I'm going to go down to the Keltner channel. And for the offset multiplier, I'm going to do 2 as well, and a period of 21. We'll load those on the chart, and now we can get a little bit better understanding of how this works. The TTM Squeeze indicator just finds the period of consolidation when the Bollinger Bands are inside the Keltner channel. That is the yellow Bollinger Band inside the blue Keltner channel. Then all we're doing is waiting for that Bollinger Band to come outside of the Keltner channel. That is considered our breakout point, and that is when we get our entry signal. Then we also use a sort of momentum indicator that will tell us if it's above 0, that's when we enter long. If it's below 0, that is when we enter short. Now, John Carter also identifies the exit point as soon as we start losing momentum. So when our momentum changes color to the opposite direction, so you're going long, if the momentum starts going down, that's our exit point. If we're short and our momentum starts going up, that will also be an acceptable exit point. So that's how this indicator works. It just tells us our entry and our exit points. And it does it by cleaning up our chart, so we do not need to see any bands over our candlesticks, and we can concentrate on what the chart is actually doing. Now, how do we utilize these entry and exit points on Strategy Builder? If we right click on the chart, go to the data box, you will see the third row says Builder Signal. This is an exposed plot that we're going to be able to use on Strategy Builder. If we hover over the gray dots, you will see it just says NA, there's no signal. If we were to hover when it first turns orange, you will see a positive 1. This is the signal we get when it turns orange and our momentum is in the green, above 0. This is considered our long entry. If we keep hovering to the other dots, again, NA, there's no signal. As soon as we start losing momentum, you will see that dot has a number 2. That is considered our long exit signal. Now, let's keep hovering. When it first turns orange and our momentum is in the red underneath 0, you will see a negative 1. This is our short entry signal. If we keep hovering, once we start losing that momentum, a negative 2. This is again our short exit signal. These are the signals we're going to use within Strategy Builder in order to automate this. And don't worry, we're going to go over that right now. All right, so let's open up Strategy Builder. If you don't know how to do that, go to your NinjaTrader control panel, select New, and select Strategy Builder. You will come up to this page right here, and we're just going to do a new strategy. Next, we can name this TTM Squeeze Strategy Builder, or whatever name you want to give it, doesn't really matter. Let's go to next. For this strategy, just to keep it simple, I'm going to stay on bar close. This just means it's only going to calculate once anytime the bar closes. Other than that, I'm going to do 2 separate profit targets for this example. So I'm just going to go to more properties, entries per direction. We are changing this to 2. This doesn't mean you're only entering a max position size of 2. This just means you have 2 separate entry points, and those entry points can be whatever position size you want. It again doesn't have anything to do with the actual position size, just the number of different entries. So next, additional data, custom series, we don't need any of that. We're trying to keep it simple. the inputs and variables page. For the inputs, these are going to be variables that the user can define within the strategy properties. So if you want to make your strategy customizable to whoever's using it without them having to go back into the code to change anything, this is where you would put that information. So I recommend things like your profit and your stop targets, your position size, the quantity for each target, and maybe things like maybe a start and an end time if you want to have a defined time when your strategy is running. Things like that you will put in this box. So let's just go over some of them. Profit target 1. I'm just going to say something like, well, we're working with 6416 NinjaTrader. So my first profit target, 64 ticks. Again, this can be whatever you want. Then my profit target 2, we're going to multiply that by 5, 320, and we're going to hit OK. So my first profit target is going to be 64 ticks. Second profit target, 320 ticks. Then for my stop distance, we might actually set up a trail stop, but we'll use the same thing. Stop distance, integer. We're going to do this 1.5 times, so 96. And again, guys, we can customize these numbers directly from the properties after. These are not going to be set in stone for the strategy. Next, I'm going to do my position size for each profit target. So quantity 1, we'll leave that at 1. You guys can adjust it if that is what you want to do. Quantity 2, again, this is 1. So remember, when we're using multiple targets, instead of entering one order with a position size of 2, you're actually going to enter 2 separate orders with a position size of 1 each. So each separate target is treated as a separate order. And just to tone down the strategy a little bit more and make it a little bit more realistic, we're going to add a start and an end time. Add start time. This one, we're doing a time variable. I have my computer set to Eastern time, so I want to start at 8 a.m. And I'm doing end time. Again, select the time. And I only want to run this until 4 p.m. Now, the variable section, these are just containers that store value for a later use. I don't think we'll need them for this example. I'm really trying to keep this video as clean and quick as possible. So we're going to skip that for now. Go to next. Now we have our conditions and actions page. This is where we can actually create our strategy. All right, we're just going to create a simple strategy so we can understand how these signals work. So just to start off, I'm going to add. I like to make sure we are in a flat position. So go to strategy. My current market position is equals to, again, strategy, market position, flat. This will ensure we're only taking trades if we are not currently in another trade. Then I'm going back to add. This is where we actually load up the indicator. Pay attention, this is the most important part of this video. So let's go indicator, and we'll scroll down all the way down to the TTM squeeze. Now, under the parameters, here you can define your deviation period, anything that you want. You can actually create your own user input variables like we did in the last page and just set them up for each one. But we're not going to do that. Again, we're just trying to save time. These are the settings I like for this one. But if you want to change them, just know you have the ability to do so. But we are going to scroll down. We are using on bar close. So we're using bar 0. That is the most current bar that has already closed. If you're using, let's say, on price change or on each tick, you will most likely have to change that to 1. But for on bar close, in most cases, we're going to use 0. If we do plot on chart, that means when we load our strategy, this indicator will come up. So we can actually just remove this one. And as soon as we enable the strategy, we will see that indicator. The predator signals, don't worry about those for now. We'll use those in the next example. But what we want to do, scroll all the way down to your plot section where it says value plot, hit that drop down box, and we're going to select the builder signal. Once we have that, we want this equals to MISC numeric value, and we're going to type in 1. Remember, 1 is our long entry signal. Once we have that, we're just going to define the start and the end time, and then we can create our order. So what we're going to do, go back to add. We are going to time. We are doing a time series with bars go 1, the most current closed candle. If it is greater or equal to our user input start time, and I'm going to add again, go back to time series, bars go 0 is less or equal to our user input end time. So if the most current time is greater or equal to the start, and if it's less than or equal to the end time, then we are good to take this trade. So now we go to the following, and we're going to create our long entry order. So order management, enter long position, the quantity, I'm changing this to the user input, quantity 1. The signal name, this can be anything that you want really. This will just have to match up for our profit target on the next page, but I'm just going to name it entry 1. And we are doing the exact same thing, enter long position. This one I'm putting the quantity 2, and I'm calling this one entry 2. And that's all we really need for our long entry. I'm just going to right click on it, make a copy, and I'm changing set number 2 to the short side. So same thing, I want to make sure we are in a flat position, and I'm going to click on the TTM Squeeze indicator. Again, just verify you have the exact same settings, it's plotted on the chart, and you have the value plot for the builder signal. This is the most important part for this video. For the numeric value, remember our short signal is a -1. So you just type in a numeric value, -1. That is all you need. And now we can change our orders to the short side. So let's click on those, change this to short position, and you will have to change your position quantity as well. The signal name can be the same one for the long and the short. So just make sure we change both of these. User input quantity 2, entry 2. All right, once we have that, let's go to the next button, and we will define our stop and our profit targets in this page. All right, instead of just setting a regular static stop, I'm going to set up a trail stop. That way our stop will keep moving as the price progresses. So how we do that, go to add, and I'm going to set up a parabolic stop for the total position. This is going to manage the stop for all of your targets. So I'm just going to go to ticks, the value, I'm going to user input, and I'm doing the stop distance user input. Once we have that, that is all we need. It's going to automatically trail that stop. Next, we have to do our profit targets, but make sure you select the individual profit target because we're managing 2 separate ones. So profit target 1 from entry signal. This is going to be the same tag that we defined for our entry order. Make sure it matches exactly how we typed it in, or else you can run into all sorts of issues. The mode, again, I'm doing ticks, value, user input, profit target 1. That is all we need. Let's do it for the second target. Profit target from entry signal, entry number 2, ticks, a value, user input, profit target number 2. All right, guys, that is really all we need for this strategy. I'm just going to hit compile and see how this works on the chart. All right, our strategy compiled. Let's remove the initial indicator. We don't need that anymore. It's going to automatically load when we load the strategy. So we do not need a second indicator. Next, let's right click on the chart, go to strategies, scroll all the way down to the TTM Squeeze strategy builder. And from this page, you will see your profit targets, your stop distance, the position quantity for each one, and the start and the end time for our strategy. When we're working with Ninja bars or really any price-based chart, always make sure you go to your historical fill processing, change this to high, and have a 1 tick resolution. It's going to make it a little bit more accurate. Ninja's historical trades are not the most accurate, especially with these price-based charts, but we want to try and make it as realistic as possible, because if we don't have that, it's going to set your entry at the opposite side of the candle, and it's just not going to be realistic. It's not going to help anybody except to inflate an ego. So let's just hit the enable button. All right, let me change the chart around a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. All right, so it looks like it is entering a trade. When we turn orange, these ones are outside of our time. Remember, we're only running 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. So these were not entries. So here, as soon as we turn orange, we enter a short trade, hit our first profit target, got stopped out by the trail stop. Same thing up here. Perfect. Seems to be entering long with our long signal, enter short with our short signal. And notice it is entering at the bottom and the top of the candle where it's supposed to, because we have that high fill resolution. On standard, it would enter on the opposite side, give you an unrealistic expectation. So these 1 a.m., no trades. So yeah, everything seems to be working. Let's just check the performance really quick here. All right, actually not bad. So we only have 5 days loaded. I haven't loaded commissions up, so just keep that in mind for commissions. Again, I'm not saying, guys, trade like this. I'm not even saying this is actually profitable. I'm just showing you how to create this bot for your own testing. So let's disable this. I'm going to load up, I don't know, let's do 30 days. I don't want to take up too much more time. And we're going to enable it again. And you guys can backtest this as long as you want. I actually recommend doing market replay or even playing it live on a sim. Even with a high fill resolution, some of these backtestings are not as accurate as they should be. But this gives us a good idea of whether we should continue testing or not. So everything seems to work. Yeah, those are outside of the time. Okay. And let's just make sure we have all the dates. What happened here? Oh, yeah, those are all outside the time. Perfect. And this is July 31st. Let's check the performance one more time. So this is about a month worth of data on high tick resolution. Again, I haven't added the commissions on this. I really need to do that. But take all of this with a grain of salt. Do your own backtesting. Again, I'm not saying this is profitable. You will need to test this out on your own. But for those that are wanting to automate this indicator and a ton of other options, I'll show you how to do that with the Predator X order entry. All right, so here we have the chart. The first thing that we need when using custom signals, we just have to load up the indicator itself. So let's load this on the chart, and we're going to select the Predator signals, the show entry signals. If you want to show the exit signals as well, you can do that. For me, I rather just have the Predator trail my stop. So for me, I'm just going to show the entry signals and I'm going to trail my stop. So once we have that, let's just load it up on the chart, and you will see these arrows. When it turns orange and it's in the green above 0, you will see a green up arrow. If it turns orange and the momentum is below 0, you will get your short signal, that is the one in blue. And these are the signals we're going to use within the Predator. When you're using custom signals with the Predator, this will work with most indicators that have the tag plus current barcode. You can just click on it, any text, even any spaces before the numbers. That is why we need to type into the Predator. We make it easy with this indicator, so you can just copy and paste the long entry and the short entry. And I'll show you how that looks right now. You right click, go to strategies, load up the Predator. For this example, I'm doing show historical trades. I recommend turning this off while live trading, but we're going to go down to our auto entry section, custom signals, click on that, entry signal. We're going to type in long entry and short entry. This is going to pick up that third party indicator. I want to enter at the break of the previous candle. You don't need to do that. I just find it helps confirm the trend a little bit more. Then down here in your order management, you can select any sort of stop that you want. I'm going to do an ATR stop and set it at 1.5 times the current ATR price. My position size, I could do automatic or custom. I'm just leaving it at custom to make it easier. Profit target, again, I'm doing an ATR, doing a quick profit target at 0.9. And I'm going to set up a trail stop for this target. Again, I'm going to set up the trail. I'm doing a 2.1 trail stop. And I want my trail to start right away, so I'm setting it at 1 tick. Then we just set up a target number 2. Again, I'm doing a ATR profit, 5 times the ATR. My trail stop, I'm setting it the exact same way, using ATR, 2.1 times the ATR. We're going to start trailing right away. So all I'm doing here, I'm setting my initial stop, I'm setting my profit target, and I'm giving it an ATR based trail stop. Now we go down to additional filters. You can add any time filter that you want. Here I will do the same ones as the previous example, 4 p.m., 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Here you can also set up P&L limits, kill switches, filter out any days that you want. You get a lot of extra options, a lot of different filters and indicators that are built in within the Predator. But just to keep it simple, again, change this to a high fill resolution. And I'm going to hit apply. Once we have that, just hit the enable button. And the only thing with the Predator is because we are using those third-party signals, it's going to take a little bit longer to load. It is a little bit limited when it comes to third-party signals just because of that wait time. The best way to use it is to load as little days as possible and run it in real time or market replay. But it does let you configure and control your trades a whole lot better than Strategy Builder. And typed in the wrong tag. Let's go back. So it was only taking long trades there. Again, we must make sure we type in the signal exactly how it's defined within the third-party indicator, or else it's not going to work. So let's enable that again. All right, so we have our long and our short entry, that everything works. We still have the 1 month loaded. So as you can see, anytime we get that signal from a third-party indicator, we enter our trade and we have that ATR based trail stop. So my target long, and it just trails perfect. Let's go back. I think we still have the 30 days loaded. These are 5 a.m. There's no trades there. 1 a.m. perfect. Yeah, so everything seems to be working okay. Let's do the strategy performance here too. And again, I haven't added those commissions, but seems to be doing pretty well for the last month. Again, with the Predator, takes a little bit longer to load. I do recommend turning historical trades off and loading the least amount of days when using these custom signals. But all the other customization and the order management you have within the Predator will help you manage your trades a whole lot better in real time. So I hope you guys found this video useful in helping to automate this TTM Squeeze indicator. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments, let me know on Discord. But with that, I'm ending the video here. Take care, enjoy.